Okay, good morning. It's not morning, it's already morning. First, I'd like to thank you for having me here. I've been watching some of the presentations today, designers, chefs, architects, a colleague from Mexico, wonderful work. He builds stuff that stays. I build stuff that goes away after a week. So advertising fades away all the time, so it's very tough then to show you after you see such beautiful buildings. But anyway, I will try. So I start with this from design to advertise, because I studied graphic design in Germany in the 80s. I left Brazil, was doing a wonderful life in Rio. You can imagine as a teenager in Rio, girls, beach, surf, a little bit of study, but enough to send me to Germany. So I spent 7 years in Germany working, studying, and then working in design. And then I realized I have an insight when I was studying design, when I start working part job in a very chic, sophisticated advertising agency in Munich. And then I learned that doing a corporate identity, a logo, would take me maybe 2 years developing, executing, implementing. Why develop a nice print ad or a nice poster for a theater, I can do in 2 days, and in 10 days it's printed, it's out there, and millions of people are going to see. So I was a little bit anxious. It's very Brazilian style, but very anxious, very fast. And so I decided to move from design into advertising, and that's it. And I'm a creative director, but creative director is not a profession. It's just a state, it's just a title on a card. But I'm an art director. And those are the steps, more or less, that in an advertising industry you can develop a career. So you are either art director or copywriter. I'm an art director. But as a rule, I think an art director has to write well, as much as a copywriter has to understand, have taste, and have this visual design concept in their minds as well. In the 80s, it was a different game. Art directors couldn't write a single sentence. They were just supposed to be drawing and make beautiful things, not to speak or write a headline or a copy. And copywriters were blind, completely. So the world has changed completely, so we have to adapt and we have to change. So now we don't have art directors, we don't have copywriters, we have creative people. And they can be anywhere, anywhere, anywho, everybody can do it. So when you're a very successful art director, copywriter, or creative, then you become a creative director, which is the guy that does nothing more than lead people to do great work and use experience to develop great work, or use the experience to help people do good work. Then you're a very good creative director, you become executive creative director, VIP, which is just another boring title that actually helps the creative people go to the finance department and get more money. So if you're a VP, you get more money than a creative director. It's just that easy. Maybe a space in the parking lot as well. And then this is number 3. Then it has 3.1, which is this worldwide creative director, jury member, president of the jury for life. This is a title that means you are dealing with a whole bunch of agencies around the world. You are traveling everywhere, trying to inspire people to do good work, trying to convince people to do good work, and most of the time you are on speeches or in juries. This is quite boring, I think, but anyway. And then you can, if you're very successful in doing all this stuff, then you can be a CEO or owner of your own agency. And then the last one is write a book about creativity, art direction, and copyright. It's the natural evolution. So my own career was very simple. I was an art director in São Paulo, in different agencies. And then I always had a dream to have my own shop. I want to be a designer. I want to be an art director for 100 square meters, everything in white, develop nice posters, and maybe some nice logos, maybe a TV commercial. But I want to be my own boss. So I got a wonderful proposal from BBDO, and I became the creative director for my own agency. I became partner at Alma BBDO in 1993, together with my planning partner, and we are doing this for 21 years. I'm really bad in maths, but 21 years. So I'm going to share with you a couple of things that I learned in these 30 years working in advertising as a designer and trying to produce enough material for a book about creativity, art direction, or advertising that I might write, design myself in maybe in the next couple of years. So, for all the 30 years, the only thing that sticks in my mind and is a path that I can find. But remember just this thing. I'm getting old, so there are not many things I can remember. But there are two things. The first one is be simple. I learned in Germany the art of reduction. The chefs were talking about reduction on the sauce. The people that produce perfumes are talking about reduction of the senses. And I always try to be simple, to try to reduce everything to a single phrase, thought, idea, visual, benefit, whatever. But one single thing. Be simple. There is David Trott who wrote, "Complicated seems clever only to stupid people." I love the line, and I remember once I was in Cannes with a former jury president, Jean-Marie Dru from TBWA, and I got a gold award, and he came to me later on and said, "Marcello, I really envy your work, because it's so simple." And I was a bit younger, so he's mocking me or what? He's French, there's a joke in it somehow. And he said, "Your work would never be approved by a creative director in France, because it's so simple. And in France, we like to complicate things. It makes so sophisticated thinking that at the end, only 2 or 3 guys get it." So I love that work. And I think simplicity, or being simple in Brazil, is a necessity. We have such a different scale of cultural people, literate people, social scale is so big. So you have to be simple, you have to get a message through to everybody. And it has to be immediately. And the second one is be unpredictable. You should not, if you are simple and predictable, oh, you're dead. Doesn't work together. So you have to be unpredictable. And I always talk about, I love obvious things, but for the obvious thing for the first time. And you look at it and say, oh, it's so obvious, it's great. It's so difficult to reduce things to a minimum and be unpredictable at the same time. So I'm going to show some work. Some of my work, personal, some work of our team, but work that define a little bit of our agency. This is an ad that I did in 1993. I was young. I was leaving an agency that I was working for to become a partner at BBDO. And we sent this stuff. It's a diet Guaraná, it's a diet soft drink. And we sent this stuff to Cannes, and I was in Cannes for maybe 2 weeks for the festival, relaxing a little bit after the whole stress of moving an agency, becoming owner, executive, whatever. And it was really stressful because I have no idea how to run an agency. And we did this. And then suddenly, unpredictably, we won the Grand Prix in Cannes with this piece. For the best print ad was, I think, the first ad that won there that has no title, no headline, no copy. Just the benefit of diet. And that's all about it. Single thought, the benefit, one image, it says. And show another one that is a very successful campaign ad that we did for Volkswagen, which is Volkswagen equals German precision. And we did this very simple, direct commercial.
All car makers have some sort of quality control. All car makers check what they do. But there's one car maker that takes this so seriously that it developed the most rigorous quality control system in the world. Everything gets thoroughly checked and then double-checked. Volkswagen.
Simple thought, simple insight, and very cheap to produce. This is in Brazil a necessity as well. So we don't have Hollywood, we don't have George Lucas, we don't have the huge 3D potential or directors and so on. We were at that time in a very deep crisis, so we have to be very compact, simple, but unpredictable. There is one ad and a campaign that we love. It's for Veja magazine. It's our Time magazine in Brazil. It's the most important magazine in the country. And we have all this campaign about two sides of the same story. And we developed this campaign, Get Both Sides. And you can see peace and war in George Bush at the same time. Or dead, alive, now we know dead. At that time we didn't know it. Threat or pretext was the moment George Bush was invading Iraq. Tyranny of freedom. So it's very straightforward thought and has to be beautiful as well. The net it's about product placement. You always think product has to be a hero of every single campaign. So we have the Mizuno sneakers, it's a Japanese sneaker. They won in Brazil a seal of approval for orthopedic industry as best running shoe for your bones and joints and so on. So we did a very simple, beautiful campaign. We just put the product where it matters. Mizuno Wave Shock Absorption System, the only one with the approval, the seal of orthopedic. So we put, it's a product placement, on and on. So now I'll show three ads, cats, lemons, and a mango, which is a little bit of three different ads for different brands, and just one ad for each, so it's not a campaign. The first one is for Whiskas, and I'm trying to make one picture that says the benefit of Whiskas. And I think it's, which is, one again, simple, direct, but obvious in a way. This is when the Pepsi launched the Pepsi Twist in Brazil, which is Pepsi with a touch of lemon. This is a nice idea because I did this when I was a kid. I was in a restaurant with my brother, and sometimes in Brazil, the restaurants, the lunch hours are long. People are talking, the parents and their friends, and they're talking about 3 hours sitting there, bored. And we took the bread and make sticks and made animals with the breads, the olives, and so on. We make a small competition. And I remember that. Let's make a lemon as a character. And we did a lot of commercials using the lemons, fighting each other, and so on. And this is the launch ad for it. This one is, these are small here, but this was huge billboards, huge street billboards. And this is, what I like about it is advertising, mango and the seed, point, nothing else. Today, if you go out and you go a briefing for a mango ice cream from any client, we're going to discuss the personality of the mango, the architect of mango, the structure of mango, what mango means to people, or how mango can save your life, or how mango can make your life more active or whatever. And I think we are overstressing a little bit the whole, I'll come later to that, so anyway. This is another beautiful campaign we did for a very small product of a very big company with Caesars. He might look like you, but he doesn't have to eat the same food, which is as a special treat for your dog. Very expensive in countries like Brazil, Russia, maybe South Africa. People are used to, you eat something and you give the rest to your dog. So this is normal in third world countries or developing countries. And then we make this campaign. He made like you, but doesn't have to eat the same food. And it took about 3 months to make the casting, but we have a lot of fun doing this. So it's the best literature in your pocket. We did a beautiful ad series for Companhia das Letras, one of the nicest. He's a good friend of mine. He's a publisher. It's a beautiful publishing company in Brazil. And we did this best literature. They start the line of small books. And then we put small books in your pocket. The Life or Death of Che Guevara, so you have the book on your pocket. Or you have The Fall of the Roman Empire in your pocket. And now I'll talk a little bit about expectations you might have as a creative director. And I think that what I learned being an art director, creative director for such a long time. So there are some things that are very important. There are a lot of young guys today aiming to be a creative director before they're ready to do it. And we have a lot of young creative directors that have no clue how to lead a company or lead a creative team. So I have noticed in Brazil, for instance, the market, so by someone does a good job, the next year he's a creative director. And then he has no idea how to do it. So I think there are no 25 years old generals for a reason. We are shortening the path, the career path. So maybe when you're 35, 40, you are burnt out because you have no idea nowhere to go. And if a creative director is not successful, then you are discharged, which is awful. So people want titles. They should want work, beautiful work, great work. And great work should be rewarded by the finance department, not with titles, but with money. I think it's fair. This is something that for the young creative directors from our agency that over the time becomes or got a motivation to change an agency and so on, the only tip I gave them is never work under someone who is not better than you. So never work under a 25-year-old creative director if you are better than him or you feel that you're better than him. Because in 6 months' time, 1 year, it's going to be a crash. So this is something very good. I really like to work with someone that I admire, I can learn from, do something completely different from what I do, and I can learn more, I can expand. If your ceiling is not that high, you're going to get depressed very soon. This is, for me, works so well. Find a good planning partner. My partner, José Luis Madeira, is with me for 21 years, and he's a great planning partner. But he's a great planning partner that loves advertising. There's a lot of planners there that loves PPT presentations. They don't love the work. They love the concept. They don't like the craft of advertising. If the film is well done, if the website is well developed, it has to love the work. The outcome of a good planning is excellent, marvelous work. And sometimes I see planners being so involved about thinking, in the thinking, that they lose perspective of the work. I made a comment. I lived in Germany for a long time and worked in German. I have German clients and I have a lot of good German friends. And in Germany, you go to a presentation of an agency. The PPT presentation takes about 3 hours. The work is shown in 20 minutes. In Brazil, we try to make the PPT presentations 20 minutes and the work 2.5 hours. Because lots of work. Let's discuss the work. The work is important. The point, the starting point is fundamental. But you have to explain too much, something is not good. So another piece of work, and this is one of insights we got of our planning department, driving is good. Golf is a marvelous car to drive. So make it simple, make it driving is good. So we made this commercial.
One day, I decided to take a drive to the city. And after I got to the city, I decided to drive through the whole city. And after I drove through the whole city, I decided to drive to the state. I ended up driving to the end of the road. When I got there, I decided to turn back and keep driving. And when I got to the end of the other road, I thought, why not turn around and keep driving? All I could think about was to drive and drive.
And you just couldn't stop driving?
No.
Bridge where he's about to cross for the fourth time in here.
Many people couldn't understand why someone would drive so much.
And all over the country, and now
identified with it, and they ended up joining me. One day, someone said I gave hope to people. I just drove and drove. It never occurred to me to stop. And that's all I have to say about that.
The next one is for Space Fox. It's a Brazilian car, very spacious. And we came up with the line, whatever you imagine fits. So you can, whatever you put in there for young people, you can put everything on the back. But instead of putting some diving gear, surfboards, and so on, we tried to make something you would never imagine, so be unpredictable again. And we did this commercial.
When the night has come and the land is dark and that moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. No, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Whoa, 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 stand by me. Stand by me.
As a creative director, and you have to work with and build your team. So the first thing is set up a good one, a very good one, the best money or motivation can buy. And money and motivation are two different things here, because if a lousy agency, the only thing that can motivate people is money. If you're a very good agency, the only thing that motivates people is motivation. The money is secondary. So it's work like this. So but find the best people in the market and try to convince them to come to your agency. So it's very important to have a mixed team. Don't have only copywriters, art directors. I have designers. I have moving directors that failed as moving director, didn't like it. I have architects. I have people that think completely different. People that are very good in working in teams. I have individuals that hate to work with anybody else, just sitting there. But I have to be very interesting mix, because it can change. You cannot develop a campaign for a restaurant, for churrascaria, which is our meat places in Brazil, if you're a vegetarian. So you have to have people that are all different scales or parts of society and as good as possible. This is something that I think is very important when you are hiring people. I'd rather slow down the absolute crazy guys. They are a mess with the clients. Hate planning guys, hate everybody, but he has so talented. But I'd rather slow those guys down for a bit than to push the really nice, creative, he's so nice guy. But is the work so nice as he is, or is the work just nice? So I really like tension in the creative department. And sometimes tension spread up and you have an explosion, but anyway, it's fun to have the crazy people, and I love to work with them. Put hierarchy in the bean. So that's why I talk about 25-year-old generals. Don't have so much layers of creative directors for this, head of art. Oh, wow, this is bullshit. I like, have everybody in a single room, let's do it all together. And creative directors have to work themselves. Don't be just commanding out of a beautiful room. It has to be everybody in the same level, and then develop work. And this is, for me, the most important thing. If you have a healthy team, have the most profound respect for the credits. Everybody working together, developing ideas, but at the end, everybody had very honest about their part in the idea and realize that someone else got the credit or better credit for the idea. But they have to have profound respect. And if you are a creative director and putting your name in front of all the work that comes out of the agency, this is lousy. You just put your name in a campaign if you have something to do with that, not because of your title. This is stupid. We call steak and bones for all. In a creative department, you have jobs that are filets mignon, so beautiful, nice steaks. And you have the bones, which are those retail jobs or point of sale stuff and so on. So you have to make full democratic, not Bolshevik, but democratic, communist, socialist. Everybody has to have bones and steaks all together. So you have the great senior guy, okay, you have to develop a nice retail campaign here, make the best retail campaign you ever did. And then the other say, give some meat or steak to young guys that really want to make a Volkswagen TV commercial. There is no easy or difficult clients, as I said before. Retail or a small job that nobody cares can be fantastic. I'll show you one campaign we did for one client in one category that in Brazil was discredited, which is trucks. We have all the truck campaigns or materials and ads were aimed to guys to buy trucks. So it has to be very boring facts, numbers, spec sheets, so very German in the sense. And then we landed a campaign based on one concept. It means tailor-made for your needs. And we start developing a huge bunch of nice campaigns. This is the first one we did, Volkswagen Forever kind of load. And it won everything. It was from a junior, not a senior creative team at the time, but was a campaign that was, maybe the briefing was not on the top of the list of the creative department. Be hard on the work. This is very good if you are leading guys. Be very hard on the work, but not on people. Be clear that you are talking about the work, that if you hire the guy, it's because he's good enough to be there and do the work. And maybe the work this time is not good. Well, let's do another time. But very hard on the work. No compromise on the work. Lots of compromise for people. And I'm almost paternalistic sometimes because I really love those guys. And if they're not coming up with something great, I feel pity for them and pity for me because the work is shit. Don't ask for your team what clients ask us. Work overnight. Give me a solution tomorrow. I don't know exactly what I want, but show me something that amazes me, which those lines that I heard a lot of times from clients. And please, can you do a new campaign in 2 days? Or something like this. So we have to protect our environment from those guys and don't have to be bossy like this. And it's for me as important as well. Know exactly what you want, even if you don't. What I'm saying here is you have to be sure where you want to go. If it's not the right place to go, you'll find out later on, but you have to be sure. At least you have to be sure what you want. If you are there, it's like, yeah, show me something. Maybe it's here, or maybe it's not. It's a nightmare. Give a lead. If you are mistaken, give a lead. And how to make it, and I think myself is a training method. Once again, 2 questions. If we were 3, I would forget the third one because of bad mathematics, and I get over 50. So 2 questions only, and I do all the time. What we want to say, clients, agency, planning department. What do we have to say? Can you define in a line? In a meeting, say, client, you're talking about hours. What do you want to say? What is relevant for your product? What do you want to say about your product? And the second thing is this relevant to the consumer? People are going to embrace what you are saying. Is there something else you want to say that is more relevant? So let's discuss. Those 2 questions are, for me, the most important questions in every single meeting, in every single brief, and we are talking of creative department. Now, one new feature and what is good for. Once again, reduction. And we get us saying, what you want to talk is about the new feature for Volkswagen. And what's the benefit of this feature for the consumer. So we did 2 commercials. missed a slide, but I'll explain later on. This was the slide that should be before this one, which the product as a hero. As much as I try and can, I put the product in the center of the communication. Not at the end. It's not kind of sponsoring a joke or the feeling or whatever. It has to be the benefit in the middle. Try to make as much as possible. I learned that with Phil Dusenberry, who used to be the chief head of BBDO in the 80s, and he created with his team the beautiful Pepsi campaign that won a lot of awards, the choice of the new generation in the 80s. It changed the soft drink market in America for a long, long time. And he always said to me, the product has to be the reason why you're doing this. Don't sponsor a feeling, a laugh, a joke, but do the product in the middle. So this was Forget Image, and then the year after, they come to us, it's like, wonderful, we did for the pictures, let's do the same for the movies. So we have stock footage, and we sell it as well. So we did again this film. Sometimes you need a friendly advice. We got the Visa account 2 years ago, and credit cards, you have all this priceless campaign, which is beautiful. You have this American Express. You want to be in Paris next day, you have American Express. You have many nice campaigns. We need it in Brazil to make what we call cash conversion, which means use a credit card more often, even for small, or debit cards for small purchases. It's very important to make people use the credit card more for the Visa in Brazilian market. So we need a very simple campaign on the point of sale, using the card, about a friendly advice. So sometimes you need someone to give you a hint about something you should do. And we did this with a little bit of malice.
Posso te falar uma coisa?
Pode.
Pagar com Visa é muito melhor.
Sometimes Sometimes you need a friend to tell you paying with Visa is more convenient, modern and safer. More people around the world go with Visa.
There's another one, which is very popular, and it has to be.
Minha netinha adora bonecas. Acho que ela vai amar.
Posso te falar uma coisa?
Claro, querida.
Pagar com Visa é muito melhor.
Às vezes é bom ter um amigo para avisar. Pagar com Visa é mais prático, moderno e seguro.
I might be a bit repetitive, redundant. I try to find all similar words in redundant, repetitive, put it in this chart, but I found just two. But I love simple concept and simple executions. I think it's my life. So this is for Volkswagen as well. There's me, another one. So this is another one that's a new one. Don't rely on something just because it fits. Volkswagen original parts. Don't rely on something just because it fits. Volkswagen original part, which is, in a sense, a different angle of Volkswagen. It's not only, because sometimes you have something, a piece that fits, but it's not reliable. This is another campaign that I really like, which I love, for Pedigree. A dog makes your life happier. Adopt, which is a new perspective on, instead of selling just dog food, we have all the program of adopting dogs. And I think it's nice. It's a nice concept of your life. It's better with a dog. There's something that I like just to talk. It's very important. I talk to all my teams, all my guys. New is different from good. Not everything that's new is good. Not everything is good is new. So there's a lot of people there, out there, in all the awards, all the clients. Everybody says, I want something new. It's like, this is spectacular. This is new. This is spectacular. It has to be new. It has to be different. It has to be. So we shouldn't mix things. Good stuff is always good. You must remember a couple of years ago, Second Life, or this huge movement of Second Life. We had agencies around the world being built to develop Second Life strategies. We had an agency in Brazil that's like, we're going to make your brand in the Second Life. And Second Life lasts for maybe a year and a half. So Orkut. Now we have Facebook, so Orkut was huge, then disappeared. There's a lot of new stuff that is important. They move and develop and so on, but we have to keep focus on good stuff, not only new. New, be old. Good is forever. And instead of talking about the future, show what you're doing today. So it's very important that we be grounded in what we're doing. So talking about the future all the time, let us forget what the present work we are producing, and if it's good enough. This will define if you'll be alive tomorrow or not, because then your future is going to be after. There's something that we are, marketing intelligence, make advertising stupid. It's what I talk about the mango. Clients are talking about a huge perspective of single things. Sometimes a pipe is just a pipe. Don't try to interpret interpretations, too much interpretation. And sometimes I have to go to the clients like, stop it, stop it. I think there is even an image bank for brandings, presentations at the moment. I saw many clients coming with us with proposals like live life to the fullest, be the better you can be, all those kind of generic statements inspire you to do your best. And they spend millions of dollars, months and years researching things to come to a common sense cliche. So we are spending a lot of money on bullshit. And that's what comes out, cliche. And cliche for me is immortal. You always have people running on the beach with arms green like this, looking at the cliff, a sunset, inspire the best of you, or feeling good in yourself. Cliche is immortal. And cliche sells. Cliche is easy and comforts the mediocre ones in a meeting and protect the cowards, sometimes in the client's side, sometimes in the agent's side, or the branding agencies. I saw so many vanilla ice cream kind of wallpaper positioning for my life to be sure that cliche is immortal. And it's going to be immortal. So you have to fight against immortality. Cut the head off. And for me personally, as an art director, I will never forget where I come from. So let's show some of Havaianas stuff. Havaianas is a brand that is with us since 1994. It's the first client that trusted my partner and myself, and was a single flip-flop that became a kind of phenomenon. And then you're going to say, you plan it? No, nobody planned it. It happened. It's organic. It's being developed. We're learning and doing. It's a learning process all the time.
Turning 30 centimeters of rubber plus 2 straps at an average price of $8 into a global brand. By combining simplicity with happiness, exuberance with irreverence, design with color, every manifestation of the brand, regardless of media, always has the sandal in the center. Reflecting Brazil's easygoing personality, its soul and culture, we're building a unique identity, transforming a simple rubber sandal into the first truly Brazilian global brand.
I just want to show first the work we have done, and I did myself much of it, and now inspiring people to do the same. And then at the end, I have one thought I want to share with you and one more piece. This is all print ads that have been developed at point of sale, packaging, web, whatever. It's a lot of work. Then I come to an inconvenient thought, which is I want to share with you something that's bothered me a lot. I got lots of briefings, clients, and I'm seeing campaigns all over the place talking about saving the planet, green, and so on. And I'm involved with a lot of ONGs. We did work for Greenpeace a lot. My wife worked for Greenpeace a long time. working with the Commission of the United Nations for Drug Policy and so on. We are really involved in a lot of stuff. But sometimes I see a lot of brands talking about saving the planet, doing their part, we better world and so on. And it's becoming a cliche in itself. And I got a brief once that said, we have a car that's going to save the planet. And then we go into the specs. It was about saving 5% of emissions because it was so well built and so on. 10% emissions is not saving the world. Or another car from a different company that had a carpet made of recycled bottles. And the campaign was the car that saves the planet, or helping saving the planet. And it comes to my mind and that consumers are maybe buying this stuff to get rid of guilty and not doing anything else. And I think we are feeding the industry with wrong messages about saving the planet. We are not saving nothing. And the brands are not doing this precisely. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And sometimes I have the English expression, walk the talk or talk the walk, and I always forget the order, but you have to do it. So if everybody's saving the planet, who the fuck is destroying it? So, all industries, everyone, and we are, it's very easy to fall in the cliche of, I'm doing good. Do good. Don't talk so much about it. Just do it. Do it in your home, do your house, do your neighborhood, do it on a school, on poor kids in your neighborhood. We're in the same kind of, South Africa and Brazil are very similar, very, very similar. We have much of the same problems. Even the World Cup coming next. But it's the same. So do it. I don't like when the clients come to us and say, let's say we are saving the planet. I say, no, you're not saving. You're saving your ass. This is something that someone told me. Brand lettering becomes salty, sharing, family happiness, world peace. I think we go higher. So it's the cliche we are falling into. We have to be very careful that we beware of hypocrisy. We are in the communication business, and we should not be hypocrites. Not that much, at least. Not that much. And to just finish in a good mood, I'm going to show a requiem for a car, a farewell to the nice, beautiful Volkswagen Combi. It's not finished yet. The voiceover stinks. It's not the final cut, but it's a project they were just finishing it now, so I want to make a small film and brought to you. But it's not finished yet, but it says.
At the end of the 1940s, Mr. Van Pond drew the first sketches of the Volkswagen bus. If you're a human being and you've spent some time on Earth in the last 60 years, you've certainly seen one of them. There's a good chance you've owned one, actually. In 2013, Volkswagen decided it was time to stop producing the bus.
It's the end of the road for the iconic Volkswagen Combi.
This generated great commotion. A legendary icon like the Volkswagen bus couldn't just disappear. It absolutely deserved a proper farewell. The Combi's very last campaign started with a non-launch ad. The ad invited people to share their stories about the Volkswagen bus on a special website. Hundreds of stories were submitted from all parts of Brazil and the world. Real stories from real people who had their lives changed by the bus. We chose some of the most incredible and touching stories, and their protagonists became part of a select group. The list of heirs in the Volkswagen bus as well. The bus's last wishes were the theme of our second ad. Before going away, the bus wanted to show its gratitude by giving customers something directly related to the stories they submitted. To the football fan who took the Volkswagen bus to 3 World Cups, it left a hubcap autographed by Pelé. To the girl who was born in a Volkswagen bus, it left its first sketch, showing what the bus looked like when it was born. To the chef who turned his bus into an Italian restaurant, it left Volkswagen bus-shaped ravioli cutters. To the family who lives in a Volkswagen bus, it left a doormat to adorn the entrance of their home.
Check that out. Hey, it's got her name on it. Whoa.
To the couple who literally traveled around the world in a Volkswagen bus, it left its odometer with the longest possible traveled distance. To the artist who painted Woodstock's most famous Volkswagen bus, it left a bus-shaped sketchbook. Volkswagen bus fans around the world received their gifts. But there was one wish left on the list. The Volkswagen bus had the chance to meet a very special person one last time. Mr. Ben Pond Jr., the son of the man who created the bus. Technically speaking, the Volkswagen bus's brother.
Now, before I finish, I just want to share my Volkswagen bus, my own Kombi. I drew it and have a very nice guy help me painting it with really beautiful, it's beautifully executed. And so I put my whole family in there as well. And I drive my daughters to the school with this, and it's a mess. It's a pleasure. So thank you so much for having me here. Okay?